Oh, bloody hell, I think we're live. Right, here we go. I would say hello, good evening, and welcome, but running a little bit late. What happened is I was signed in on my other account. Didn't realise that's on me. Come on, and I realised I'm actually missing the Yogscast Jingle Jam Civ stream to watch this crap. So tune in just in time for Kaya to be making his way around the first sector of Baku. Yes, we are here in Baku. It's the last race of the playoffs before we go to the Championship 5. Yuri and I are in the commentary box. We thought we'd make it as difficult as possible, so we took them to the track that, well, they thought that Singapore was difficult. Well, I say they thought Singapore was difficult. They made Singapore look difficult. We're here in Baku that is previously seen a race with around about 4 finishers. And yeah, as I was saying, it is myself and Yuri in the commentary box. His voice is once again starting to fade, which can only be a good thing, but good evening, Yuri.
Good evening, Gareth. I thought you were like the pro in this. Signing into the wrong account, come on.
Oh, wasn't I? No. It was not signing into the wrong account. I just literally turned on. I'm given absolutely no time from when I joined the lobby. I should be the priority here. Jess goes straight away, and well, that's what happens. You get.
I thought it was very kind of Jess to allow us the opportunity to skip Kaya's lap.
Well, yeah, that is true. To be fair,
you were just too quick, and we are still watching Kaya's lap.
Yeah, he is trying his hardest, trying to hit as many walls as possible. Bank a lap. He said he's done practice and he's not spinning, which good. But it is a 1:49. Expect times to be down around about 5 seconds faster than that. Scott Hayes now out on circuit, and Scott, who's actually been away this week, he went away with our old pal Jack Ricketts over to Malaga in Spain. I think it was they went, and he's actually been over there for, I think it was a week-long holiday or just short of a week-long holiday. He's actually come home with 7 different types of gonorrhea. He's currently under high-end supervision at the world's only STD rehab clinic for people that actually aim to catch as many different sexually transmitted infections as possible. So he's currently, well, locked in a room, and people will only go in and see him with a hazmat suit because literally one of his one molecule of oxygen from his body arriving into someone else's, and they'll catch what is currently known as super gonorrhea. But what can Scott do as he heads down through the third, or into the third sector, and on to what is one of the longest semi-straights in Formula 1? Not a true straight, of course. You've got the slight, almost like a chicane here, that you take at full speed into 8th gear, open the DRS just as you get to where you've got the yellow LED board flashing here. That gives you a short burst down to the line, and we're going to get about a 45, perhaps a 46 out of Scott. It's a 46.512.
My favourite fact about Scott is that he has more mirror selfies than any ordinary OnlyFans girl on his Instagram.
That is true. We did find that out this week, actually.
Yeah.
That he does like a picture of himself, doesn't he?
He very much does so. Yeah, indeed he does. We go on to Paul then, who has decided he didn't want to turn up for this race or qualifying at all. The next on the line is Marco Snyder. Who is?
It's not. It's OOKK that's out on his outlap at the moment, unless Marco just hasn't come out.
No, Marco isn't here.
No, he's not here. So that's a no-show. 16 cars then. Jacko said anything less than 16 was embarrassing. I mean, I'd say the majority of the season have been embarrassing, but we do have 16 of the worst F1 esports drivers that you've ever seen here tonight, and Michael will be getting a full complement of us on his lap. So don't screw it up, Michael, because the world is watching. Down now into turn 1, heavy braking zone, one of the heaviest on the lap. Of course, you're going from full speed down into this left-hander. Open up the corner, and you've got another heavy braking zone to set yourself up onto the first DRS straight. Use a little bit of the inside curb. He just takes the outside. You can extend as long as you don't go 2 wheels outside of the white line, which would be impossible because you would break the car in 2. DRS now down towards slightly elongated chicane. You've got the left-hander. You want to hit that curve as much as possible. Use the runoff area. Pull back to the left-hand side of the circuit, into the right. A little bit wide once again from Michael there. Just broke a little bit too late Now we come up to another chicane in a lap, another quick left right here, and this one can actually be quite tricky. Raised curbs on either side can unsettle the car, especially when you're trying to get the power down towards probably one of the most tricky corners anywhere on the calendar to get this one right. Taking that right-hander, you have to hop over the curbs in towards the castle section, flick it in, miss the wall on either side, right on exit, left puts you onto the back straight and past the museums as you pass the exit of the castle grounds and the cathedral on your left-hand side, over the bridge and around past the hotels as we go down here with the beautiful houses on either side. I've actually really wanted to go to this race for a long time. You've got City Hall on the far-hand side on the right, and that sends you down now onto effectively what is just the other side of this is the ocean. But Michael manages to avoid that on towards the straight, opens it up now, 7th gear, keeps it in 7th through the kink, flicks it up into the wall, not into 8th gear yet. Now he goes into 8th gear, does clatter the wall, doesn't take off an end plate, I don't think, so he hasn't done a Quinn and decided to go for a straight line speed boost on exit, but it's going to be a 43.830. Not a bad lap there from Michael Okeke, who was actually expected to be leaving ART at the end of the season. He was said to be outraged after the terrible engineering calls in Monaco cost him a chance of a good result around the Principality, and explaining why he was unfocused and they just drove into a wall before they even got to the back. Yuri, Liam up next. I agree. So Liam, who I've got no notes for whatsoever, and so we don't have a driver profile because I don't think because he wasn't meant to be here last week, so I didn't have in my notes. So Liam, you're gonna either get away with no slander, or I'm gonna have to make one up on the spot. Did you know that Liam is currently the largest supplier of concrete to the northern hemisphere? Makes it all in his back garden, just has a really deep hole that he shovels sand into, and currently just mixes it with water, and he sells it by the packet. So sells it in bulk, but a really obscure way. So clearly a bit of an entrepreneur, maybe not the most efficient way of doing it, but Evil Dragon 99 coming up to the line. What can he do? It's going to be a 43.357, currently puts him into provisional pole position, half a second faster than Mr. Okeke, as we now go down to the man that was most likely born in 1998. I'm not going to assume anyone's age, that would be rude of me, of course, and I hate to be rude, but Harry Collier is making his way through his lap, and Harry, who is he's actually pre-ordered GTA 7. He's quite high up in the economic world, and he's expecting a financial crash to occur in the late 2020s, and his very shrewd deposit for the game should cover 85% of the total inflation, and it'll most likely be released in around about 2038 on the PlayStation 8. So what can Harry do? It's going to be a 23.682, puts him provisionally into P2. However, getting ready to skip a game on GTA and go straight to number 7 instead. Jess out for her lap as well. She's coming down through into the final few corners. Jess actually on the board of directors for Chelsea Football Club, and is actually the one telling Todd Bowley to only sell 19-year-olds from the French Ligue 2. So weirdly, the only players they seem to sign these days, but it's the driving force is Jessica Ball. She's collecting them, it seems, as she's making her way down the straight. What can she do here in quali? It looks as though it's a semi-decent lap. It's going to be enough for P3, a 43.717. Not quite enough to beat Harry and go on to front row. What have you got, Dustin Rolko? Yuri, are you alive, or are you back to being dead again?
Yo, I wanted to, just as I wanted to start talking, I felt a cough going. I wanted to come back to you on Double OKK's lap, where you mentioned that there were apparently 6 oceans. I didn't know that, so thanks for the interesting facts here with Garrett. We were actually supposed to go to Baza, but he also, just like Paul, decided he didn't want to race this track more than he needed to, so decided to skip his quali lap. Crashed it on coming onto the main straight out of the right final corner. As we go with Dustin towards the castle section, as you say, this is the trickiest corner indeed. He goes a bit wider than we saw KK do, and now into the I'm stupid section, which he tackles quite reasonably. Turn 12 is also a bitch, where you don't want to go too wide, which by looking at the barriers, you think you can do, but you can't. So keep it within the white lines, like all of those 5 white lines, preferably, if you want to make up your mind. In towards turn 15 now, where you want to be as tight towards the curb, but not on the curb. Down the main straight towards the 6th ocean of the world. Into the final real braking corner, and it's flat out until the line now. We've got way too much time to talk, so what have you been doing, Gareth?
Well, do you know, not much today actually. Just, do you know what? I've been thinking to myself, and I desperately hope that the rumours are true, and we potentially look at moving JACKOCAR to starting at 8 p.m. I know it doesn't help you guys over in Dutchland, but my word, it is difficult trying to get everything ready for 7 o'clock over here when I'm getting home from picking up from
apparently
work.
the straight is long enough to have a full-on conversation.
Oh yeah, so, I was just going to ignore that. But yeah, it was Dustin goes P4. Don't worry about that. We've got Matt Shepherd and Rageman now out on their laps as well. Matt Shepherd, who is enduring a bit of a torrid season after his win in Abu Dhabi. And
that was such a great win.
It was, yeah, really deserved. But do you know what? Weirdly, after being outed last week for his extreme hentai tentacle porn addiction, he's made a change in life. He decided that he was going to leave behind the Japanese anime, but he now indulges in the world of cake farts and weird other or sitting and expressing wind of food related disciplines. So moving over from one kink to another, you can't keep a good kinky man down. Well, Matt Shepherd, what can he do? As it says he's gone purple. Don't trust that, because we all know that the game talks absolute garbage. No different to usual, as he misses the rogue tyre that's been left by, imagine, Bazza, I believe that was. You said that's crashed around there. If not, it was Paul McGuinness's. Like you say, 2 guys that decided not even to bother qualifying tonight. Shut to the line. Shep goes pole. 42.443 is your current benchmark. Almost a second faster than Liam there, so not a bad time. As Wace looks like he's had an incident on his outlap as I was just scrolling down. Rageman as well. He is making his way through the final sector onto the main straight. He's got about 20% of battery. He's trying to get a little bit of a tow here going down the pit lane. Probably didn't work. Probably not going as quick as possible. It's only enough for P3. Slots in between Harry and Liam. Jack Ricketts, what have you got in this? Let's have a look at the livery. What have we got tonight? It's a little bit shiny at the moment. I can't tell. It looks all right. Yeah, not bad. Bit dull. Could be doing a bit more vibrancy, I think, from me. I prefer, but
a little bit too less colour for your take.
Yeah, no, I need a lot of colour in my liveries. I do like a green in my livery, but it's a bit too much black in this for me.
Wow, that's racist.
Well, that's true. Did you know that the reason why Jacko's made so many international visits in the last 12 months, 12 holidays in 12 months, he said on his Instagram the other day, is he's actually the European head of a worldwide sex racketeering and human trafficking scheme. He's been trying to export Kieran Spears out to Ecuador for 42 months, but they've added their name to the 76 countries that will refuse to take the small lesbian-looking man. But Jacko, P2 for him, a 43.0 is enough for a front row start currently, because he's not going to be beaten by Matt Lester, because he's driving out on his flying lap without a front wing. So Lesty, who is going to make life difficult for himself, trying to get anywhere in here in Baku without a front wing. And Lesty, who I've actually got written down here, and this actually works out quite nicely, is Matt Lester moonlights his career with a stand-up comedy routine. It involves him showing an audience a 35-minute highlight, I say a highlight, of all of his escapades here in JACKOCAR. It's a roaring success. Everyone's rolling around the floor in laughter. He's expected to win Best Joke of a Man next season at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. But he will be circulating. He could probably still beat Kai's time, but he will be circulating probably around the back. But we've got Bazza, Paul McGuinness, and Rico also is going to be out of this one, but in qualifying. So Wace with 2 sectors left to go. He's just managed to avoid, I believe that might have been, who is that that's just getting, it might have been Jacko that was getting out of his way there, but A couple more corners left to go for Wace, who's just about held on to that one, really throwing it over the curbs. And Wace, who took great pleasure in posting out his video of his overtake that he made in the Cup Series last week in France in the Super Speedway. Didn't quite add the bit where he threw it in the wall afterwards, but you know, I'd like to throw out a bit of propaganda there that you're anyway good at this game. What can Wace do as he comes up to the line? Looks as though this should be pole position, and it is not. It's actually half a tenth slower than Matt Shepherd. So Matt Shepherd guaranteed a front row start. Can it be beaten by Quinn? Quinn, who's actually now coming up to the main straight. He's actually, he had to have blood surgically removed from his penis the week after he attained an erection, or after he attained an erection so strong during the race last week into France Super Speedway. It's only P3 for Quinn. Yeah, as I was saying, we go back to Quinn, because this is a fascinating stat actually. That he had to have blood surgically removed from his penis after he took the lead in a cup race. He was so excited. He just got such a stiffy on for it, but it just wouldn't go. He had to go to hospital. He had to get drained out. But there was complications. It was desperately sad. Complications, and they had to have 1.5 inches removed from the remaining parts of his manhood, and he's now left with a nubbin. But it is Matt Shepherd on pole position.
I really wish you didn't talk about Quinn's manhood there.
Yeah.
Also, kind of sad that his penis is now half the distance it usually was.
True. Yeah. Well, it's
you know what? It's not the size that matters. It's what you do with it, Quinn. You'll be okay.
Yeah, and he's going to be really good at scissoring now. So
with Kieran, maybe.
So yeah, Matt Shepherd takes, I think, his first ever pole position there. I'll have to double check. I'm sure he'll correct me, but I think that's probably Matt Shepherd's first ever pole position. Behind him will come a heap of drivers that should have done a lot better. The likes of Wace, Quinn, Jacko, all of those drivers. Jacko, who's still teetering on the edge of getting into the Championship 5. And Yuri, do you have the standings in front of you?
I do not.
Great, because neither do I. Do you want to get them quickly whilst I'm trying? Because I have no idea who needs what to get into the Championship 5.
Let's have a look here, shall we?
I know that Quinn's in and Wace are in. We know that.
Well, this is going to be a search. The standings in the Discord are from round 6, Netherlands.
Oh, yeah. If only we had a competent set of admins who actually uploaded the stuff to the Discord where people would look for it rather than the Cup Series as well, to be fair, because, you know, it doesn't get uploaded there either.
Yeah, but that's an ART. See? It's ART!
Well, it's
ART scum.
They are incompetent. We know that. We do know that ART are clearly incompetent. But
well, let's not talk about the last speedway we had before this one, where Jake punted Ben out of the C5.
Well, I mean, we can talk about competency within esports teams, and we can go back to can look
please elaborate on our team's
yes, let's discuss team speed whilst we've got time, because sometimes he does listen to this. Yes,
you can do great storytelling.
We have got a driver in team speed currently. His name is Speed Knighton. You may remember him. He used to win races. He has taken it upon himself, seemingly, in the last 6 weeks, I'd say. Perhaps more, because he's got a penchant for creating chaos elsewhere, for only crashing into speed drivers. Now, Pete has crashed into me twice. He's crashed into Ben. He's crashed into Kieran. And this last week, at the back, where we were strategically, of course, at the start of the Super Speedway, we were all messing around, trying to overtake each other and losing heaps of time. So in comes the smartest man in the room, Gareth. He says, let's stop messing around. Let's start working together. Now there's silence in the room. No one says anything. No one says, I agree, Gareth, you're so clever. Why didn't we think of that? Well, let's ignore that. The very next corner, Pete arrives at 3 times the speed of sound and completely T-bones Leroy, taking out Leroy. And I think, did he almost take you out at the same time, Yuri, or was it someone else? It was definitely
I'm
at least
pretty
3
sure
of
it
us.
was close.
And to which it was just, oh yeah, I broke late. I broke late, Pete. I broke late. It's your team. You shouldn't be anywhere near them. But never mind, I digress. As Ben said, he'll be receiving his P45. So if anyone wants, I would say Speed Knighton, but we can just call him Pete Knighton now because he is on his way out. Then you're welcome to have him. ART, we will swap him for who's of relative. To be fair, we can take a Michael. Michael.
We would love a Michael.
Yeah, we take a Michael. So we'll swap Michael for Pete, and in fact we'll throw in Kieran for free, so they get a twofer.
That's not fair.
No,
if we throw in Kieran, we can't get Michael. The value will go down.
Oh, that is true. Yeah. Oh, how do we get out of that? We need to get rid of both of them, but we need to do it in a way that makes him. So how do we sell Kieran?
We don't. We just fire him. It's fine. Just get him out.
He can start joining all of Quinn's esports teams.
Oh, I'm bad at F1 Kieran.
Yeah, Danny Quinn, esports team killer. He's like Randy Orton back in the Legend Killer phase, but he goes in and just takes them from. Well, to be fair, yeah, Kai does. Maybe we should have Kaya and Quinn in the same team.
Kaya, Quinn, and Kieran sounds like a joy thing.
Imagine that party.
Nice one, Shep.
So Shep gets disqualified from his own start at the front, so he loses a heap of time there, and in fact, the inside line will be taken by Wace, who's a little bit closer and is on nicer tyres. So mediums for Matt Shepherd, mediums for Scott, and the leaderboard is doing its own thing, so we'll ignore it and we'll go 3, 4, 5, pause, out and underway here. It's a good start actually from Shep, who gets the grip, but Wace with that extra benefit of the soft tyres should throw it down the inside. Does he give Shep the room? He does on exit, so Matt Shepherd will filter down not only into second but into third because Quinn's found his way up. Now where comes the chaos, because we know it will happen. In fact, let's watch the back with Kaya, who's decided to start on hard tyres and he's not accelerating, so he will be at the back, but surely we're going to see a crash within seconds of this race starting, because we know this is going to be a race of attrition. Who can get to the end with all 4 wheels attached to the car and the front wing equally attached? And on board with Paul McGuinness, as Liam is currently battling away with Shep now, and Liam, who's seemingly doesn't exist because his timing isn't there on the screen, but will sit with Evil Dragon 99. There we go. Right, who is it? It's Rico. Of course it's Rico, who's gone. I mean, how on earth did he go left down that road? He's got no front wheel, so he's gone straight. He's gone straight into it, nosed into it, and there is your first virtual safety car.
So we will take this time to discuss this week's movie review, Gran Turismo. Other than the fact that it is just what you'd expect of a racing movies: wrong tracks, wrong cars, wrong everything. It is, it's okay. It's fine. It follows the life of the story of Jan Mardenborough, who loves GT racing back in 2011 when he raced on GT7 with a Fanatec wheel. You know, remember that, a Fanatec wheel, 2011. Such an accurate film. Absolutely love this. He raced with many cars that were not in the game. He lives with his mom and his father in somewhere in the UK, and his dad wants him to be serious about life, because following a sim racing or a racing career from playing a video game is never going to work out. Until some person at I think Nissan goes to or someone from Nissan UK goes to the senior officers at Nissan, and well, we'll get back to that.
Yep, back green here, and don't worry, you'll be getting my opinion on Gran Turismo as soon as we get our first safety car. As we've got in the box Rico for his new front wing, and Bazza came in as well, so he must have lost a front wing somewhere. No mandatories for those guys, as Waze has just about kept that one out of the wall. As Matt Shepherd equally struggling to get the power down. Everyone actually behaving themselves somewhat on this the first few laps here. Don't worry,
Yeah,
it will
quite
come.
surprised with that.
I know it will. Don't worry, it will come as soon as one goes. It'd be like honestly, it'd be like dominoes here. So Waze is starting to. Is he starting to stretch? There's the yellow flag we're expecting. Is that for Rageman? I believe it is. Yes, he's gone around on the exit of the castle section. He's sitting there. You need to go because you will get disqualified. And so he's clearly either clipped the inside wall on exit and clipped the rear tyre, and I think might put him into a bit of a flat spin. But it looks as though he's got away again, so he's now dropped down to 14th position. That tail end is looking very squirrely as he's now closing in on Kaya, who has elected to start on hard tyres. He said earlier, there goes Paul, he's done exactly the same as we had. Is Kaya going to drive straight into him as we go around this corner? No, well done Kaya, usually you do that. As here we go, VSC for the second time.
I do see the safety car driving out, so if you follow the rear of the field, you'll see the safety car exiting the pit lane.
Yep, it's the LED boards have just gone to. Well, they've got safety car. We've got virtual safety cars. So go on, let's continue with talking about Jan Amada.
Oh, you don't want to talk about the movie?
Well, I'll let you discuss it, and then I'll give my thoughts on it. I will actually correct you, however, on something. Is that I had a Fanatec for the PS2.
Okay, well, fair enough, but it's not the Fanatec square wheelbase Fanatec one, right? The direct drive.
No, it literally had clips on either side of the wheelbase that you put between your knees to keep it on your legs.
Yeah, I think I saw one of those as well from a buddy of mine. But anyway, no, it's quite remarkable how much it is. I get that if you base it off a story, you don't have to keep to the story because it's based off. But it's funny to actually use its name and then decide to have 2023 cars like the Porsche 992 GT3 RS and the newest gen Lamborghini Huracan Evo GT3 and the 720S from McLaren is also in it, which weren't out in 2011 or 2013 when he started racing. Anyway, he signs up, he gets invited because the Nissan UK guy gets the approval from Nissan to set up the GT Academy, provided that, he's going to take the blame if something goes very south with those underqualified guys in really fast cars. He agrees, they set it up. The 10 quickest guys get invited to go to the GT Academy in Silverstone at Budapest, Hungary. Great track. Remember Budapest, Hungary? We'll get back to that later. As they do their GT Academy stuff in Singapore, Budapest, Hungary, they get to several challenges, both fitness, sim racing, and actual racing in what is, funnily enough, a Nissan GTR Nismo from 2020 or so about. Not from 2011 or 2013, Anyway, I digress, again, because this film is super accurate. At the same time as they race at Silverstone Budapest F1 track, there is a moment where Jan Mardenborough is fighting up against Matty Davis. That is not our Matt Davis, he rolls around in his own semen. This is actually the American Matty Davis. Whilst they are doing an overtaking exercise, Jack, who is the chief engineer, tells him to absolutely go for it, send it, overtake him, and it appears as if Jan chickens out. But actually, the brakes got something going on. The brakes weren't up to their prior best specs. So he misses the corner and crashes, and Jack gets actually super mad at him. That he's a pussy, and that he chickens out, and that he should commit when doing overtakes. Anyway, a guy from Nissan goes out for a lap on the same car, finds out the brakes are actually fucked up, And Jack is impressed with how a sim noob could actually manage to know that. As they go on, he with nice one, Rico. With being right about the brakes, he actually earns the final seat in the final race, where the top 5 are participating for the Nissan GT Academy title and therefore a seat in Nissan's racing team. As they go into the race, Jan starts last, finishes first by doing the main racing film thing by beating him narrowly across the line. There is some debate by the motorsport man, the UK Nissan UK motorsport guy, who says we got to go with Matty Davis because he's the better personality for the TV and for the press and yada yada. And Jack sticks up for Jan, saying that he won fair and square, and therefore he should be the guy who goes on to do this. That is all being taken care of, and pardon me. Jan gets to drive, but he doesn't have an FIA license, so he needs to do some. He needs to do some races to get himself an FIA license. And what kind of races do you do to get an FIA license? Race up against your arch rivals later in the film, because they also happen to be in a race where rookies get FIA licenses. Jan has to finish 4th in any one of these races, and as he goes to an actual track this time, they go to the Red Bull Ring in Austria, he finds himself in P4 and gets a warning about the Kappa guys. I think it was the Kappa guys, which, you would love this, is a Dutch guy. He's a bit dirty and he bumps him off the track in the final corner and he finishes 27th. Later on he finishes 23rd, 20th and some other times until we get to the final race in the Dubai Autodrome, I think it is, in the UAE, where he has another coming together with this Kappa guy. And this is another part of the movie which frustrates me so much, because if it actually represents racing, then how is turning into your opponent on a straight and pushing him into the fucking barrier allowed? They also file no complaints, because apparently that is okay. That is just the driving standard of Dutch people. Yes, the Garrett, I will say it for you. And thereby, he finds himself after some damage repairs. After being behind him, he finds him in an awkward situation where he gets squeezed by his 2 rivals, and he does the smart thing of backing out, which funnily enough results in both of those other cars missing their braking point into one of the corners. He goes by up into P4 where he needs to be, and then later on the Kappa guy isn't happy about that, and by pure racing logic he just absolutely flies by down the straight. Because that's how racing works. All of a sudden you just gain like 50 kilometers an hour extra by just being behind someone. And and he decides to carry all that speed into a corner and crashes with another car, which, funnily enough, does 25 barrel rolls. The tire of the Kappa Lamborghini comes on Martin Bros Nissan, he can't see, and he has to go in for a safety car, which they, funnily enough, make a full safety car appear like a red flag, where they have to stop in pit lane. Anyway.
Thrilling. I love Gran Turismo. So down in towards turn 1, it's a great start from Wace, who gets the launch back against Matt Shepard, but it gets a little bit loose on the rear end. Rico just unable to catch up. He had another wing change under the safety car, drove into the wall. He exited turn 1 after getting his wing changed, so he'll be he's half a lap down already. We've got Harry Collier taking the escape road. He's going for the Mahiva Rahunathan look, and he's now trying to. Well, let's watch this. Has been much more
insert Austin Powers.
Yeah, as he's
you missed the most of it, but that was Austin Powers.
Oh, Quinn's gone around. There we go. Here's the big one.
Ooh, there's many cars.
Right, so Quinn got turned around by Michael. Rageman's gone down the escape road to avoid it.
Surely not double okay.
Harry Collier is somehow out of all that, is on the back of the pack, and continue.
My throat's not loving this. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, Martin Bro has a massive crack in his windshield. The FIA officials, or the officials of this race, don't mind. They're like, go on mate, it's fine, no problem, you can see through it, right? Yes, okay, off you go finish 4th in this race. And for the second time in this film, They go side by side into the final corner, side by side out of the final corner, and he beats his rival by another couple of inches. Wow, so original, so much excitement. It is amazing. All these racing films are the same, and I can't wait for Apex because it's probably going to be exactly the same. He gets his FIA license.
Where has that happened? Let me find it.
I just looked up from my notes, and I see him going into the corner. I bet he jumped over the curb or something. Oh, that is unlucky. Oh well.
Oh, my heart bleeds.
Yeah, same. I shouldn't have laughed so hard, both for you, Quinn, and for myself and my well-being. Anyway, Jack asks, he gets to sign the contract with Nissan, and Jack asks him what he's going to do with the signing bonus. And he says, well, probably going to put it on to a flat, mate. So that is just what he wants to do and what he wants to try and get done. And then Jack says, why don't you use that big-ass signing bonus to fly that girl you keep staring at on your phone over to here when you get to sign a contract and have her be here. So that's just what he does. He goes to Tokyo with her. How romantic, right? He signs a contract, they go out clubbing, or first for food. They're surprised by the quality of the Japanese food. They go out clubbing, they kiss, and they're happy ever after. You guess, because this doesn't come out. Oh, something I missed. His dad wasn't supportive at all about him pursuing this sim racing thing. But in the end, he went up going, and he turned out to be quite okay. And that's the last you hear of it. Just from the moment that he gets signed to the GT Academy, he's like, well, I'm going to do this, Dad. And that's the last you hear of it, of his parents, for quite a while. Anyway, he does this. He gets to this. He gets this contract. They go racing, and one of the races is at the Nürburgring. And I do know that it was Martin Bro who was in the car, because I've seen that crash. Well, not live because I wasn't watching, but very quickly I saw that crash on social media. And it is an absolutely terrifying crash where unfortunately one spectator passed away due to injuries of the car landing on top of his body, which is rather unfortunate. This race where he gets in the groove according to the film, and he starts overtaking people, passing people, and he fights himself in P2 going up to Flugsplatz, which is a really, really fast corner after a slight bend. Air got under the car got lifted up, it barrel rolls over the fence and ends up in the spectating area. He passes out. This is the first time actually you see his parents watch the film, and this is also the first time where you see his parents being involved in it. Not watch the film, sorry, watch the race. They see his crash happening, and they're obviously very much they very much don't know what they're doing, which makes sense, seeing as you just see your kid crash. That's not great. That's not great at all. You see him getting airlifted to the hospital, where he wakes up. You see Jack and the motorsport guy there, explaining that it wasn't his fault that a spectator was unfortunately killed. He could do nothing about it. Obviously, from being in the car and you driving the car, you feel some sort of responsibility for it. He goes through a really bad time. He actually doesn't want to do anything at all. He's very depressed. He talks with his girlfriend over the phone. He talks with his mother over the phone, who asks, should we come down there? And he just says, no, I'm not fun to be around at this time anyway. And I'm just wondering, why a bloody peep are they not going down there anyway as parents? Which is interesting, to say the least. Why wouldn't you want your parents there is a second interesting thing. And why wouldn't you ignore your dad when he's calling you while you're laying in hospital bed? It makes absolutely no sense to me, and I guess that is my own fault, because I'm just, not that intellectual for that, or it's logic. And anyway, Jack takes him onto the track towards the Flugsplatz corner where his accident happened. In, like I say, the 2022 or the 2023 Porsche 911 992 GT3 RS, which is so not from the time that the story would actually play out to be. But Anyway, they go there. He walks out, tells his dramatic story about how he crashed and unfortunately killed another driver. And he tells Jan to finish his lap. So Jan takes the driver's seat. He drives the track slowly, ever so slightly speeding up after a few kilometers. And he finishes the lap. He talks to his parents. I'm not even sure whether he talks to his parents. They phone a bit. And then afterwards, they find out that many of the teams, led by our main protagonist, Kappa, the dirty Dutch driver, he files a complaint towards the FIA that sim racers shouldn't be allowed to race with the big boys.
Well, back underway here in Baku after Yuri's thrilling interpretation of the Gran Turismo movie. Don't worry, you will hear mine as Kyle's into the wall and loses his front wing. And he's going to pull out the way now and just get in everyone's way. He's going to bring out a VSC if he does that. Kyle's on his Joker as well, so lol. Anyway, back to the front. It was Evil that led that one away from now Jacko, who got the jump on Kaya going into turn 1. Don't worry, it wasn't the overtake from Jacko that forced Kaya into it. It was just Kaya being bad at the game. Fozzie now up to P3. Jess now up to P4. However, she's just had a loose exit, and that means Bazza is all over her rear end. And this is very much the fight for the chase. So effectively, Jess needs to keep Bazza behind. Bazza needs to start getting a little bit more aggressive. He could do with putting Jess in the wall and getting away with
I've got the standings,
a bit of a cheeky one.
But
so
the gap is -4 for Bazza.
Yeah, so Bazza's got some work to do here because he's on older tyres as well,
and he's behind his rival. But he's also got wing damage, so it's all looking really great for Bazza.
Yeah, so Jess might actually be making her debut in a Championship 5 if all goes to plan at the moment.
Well, not particularly, because the gap to Liam is 10 points. So there's still an opportunity for Liam to get in.
True. Maths. Right, anyway.
We need Jacko in the booth for this.
Yeah.
Shit, he just knows that from the top of his head.
Yeah. Right, so that is Rageman that's all over the back of Bazza now, and he has to actually get out the throttle a little bit there, as Liam's already got 1.3 second advantage, as Bazza is looking as though he's going to dive into the pit lane to make his stop. Yellow flag is out on the main straight. I'm guessing that's for the guys that got off the throttle to go into the pit lane. Rageman having to dive out the way of the wall, and that's going to open the door for both Matt Lester and potentially, is it for OKK? He does get OKK and Matt Shepherd as well. So 3 positions lost in 2 corners there for Robin Border. And Matt Shepherd back underway, of course, after starting on pole position in this one, but falling down the order. Now down to P7. He's on a set of brand new soft tyres. He came in after taking the playoff point for leading the first stage. As behind Rico is now having his own fight with Scott, and we've got a yellow flag out for Wace, who's gone deep at turn 1, and he is now Austin Powers his way out of it, and there we go again, another VSC.
So to counter this,
it's Rico again. Fuck's sake.
Really?
Yes, this is.
I even told him to just take it easy.
Another front wing for Rico. I don't even think it was him that caused the VSC.
No, it wasn't, because that was called before that happened, right?
Yeah.
Ah well, at least you didn't crash under crash out under the VSC. That's only done for bad people. Anyway, talking about bad people, the teams are actually standing behind Kappa Racing and the Kappa guy dude's ID about how to go about this and how sim racers shouldn't be allowed. So in a desperate attempt to prove to the world that sim racers are allowed, they go to Le Mans.
Right, so back to green. So I was just looking at the chat. Quinn saying it was Kaya that caused the crash between himself that ended up putting Quinn in the wall. Apparently he was auto slowed down. Kaya's messaging during the race, which is always great to see when someone's paying attention to their phone when they're currently involved in a race. Rageman is now off of hard tyres onto a brand new set of softs. 11 laps of 26. So we've actually had, what, 3 VSCs now and 2 safety cars. So is that us done? Do we now have 15 uninterrupted laps, or do we have to endure one more?
I don't think the VSC counts towards the counter.
I think it
I've
does.
been
It
told
not?
that. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, no one knows anyway. It could be anything.
It's Formula One.
Right, these fans that are cheering quite enthusiastically on all these balconies. First of all, I think there's a weight limit on these balconies that's being overreached, and health and safety needs to be up there immediately.
First racism, now fat shaming. Jeez, Gareth.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm looking out for the Azeri people. I'm saying that there shouldn't be that many people on a balcony, and equally, Kia is not that exciting. They do not need to be punching the air as the cars come past. No one is that excited to watch Kia. Smoke is appearing from the back of Liam New's car, and perhaps he's got a power unit issue. We can only hope the thing blows up, as Jacko's currently sitting now behind him within DRS range, and well, he's on the button. Get off it, Jacko, you're going to need it. As down towards the DRS detection line we go now. And of course that rear slot does open. Jacko's not going to get the move on. He's not quite close enough this time, but he can line him up for the second use. Or I say the second, it's really the first bit of use on the lap. As Jacko's already going to think about the inside. Don't worry about that. You want to shape it up here, but Liam on exactly the same tyres as Jacko, but Jacko just showing a little bit more pace at this point. And not quite close enough. He pulls to the inside just to get in the mirrors of Liam, but pussies out of it and doesn't really commit to anything there, apart from perhaps trying to take some of the dirty air off of his tyres, like that's even coded into the game. But Liam a little bit loose on exit. That's going to keep Jacko sniffing around his arsehole, as he does with little boys on a Friday night. But Liam here really under threat from Jacko, like little boys on a Friday night. But Jacko is in fact almost just puts his nose into the gearbox of Liam as they go in through the castle section. We've got a yellow flag out for who's going to drop down the order. Let's take a guess. It's Scott this time that's gone around, and let's go down and see him recovering. Looks as though he's still got all 4 wheels attached to the wagon and his front wing, so perhaps just a spin on traction. Shep is now on the back of OKK as well. We will check in with Jacko, who is closing in and still yet to overtake Liam. But away from that, the battle is going on between Leslie OKK and Matt Shepherd. And this is really a battle potentially for, upwards of the podium, if not a race win. As OKK right on the back of Leslie now. Jacko's actually fallen outside of DRS, going down the main straight. So perhaps Liam using a little bit of battery. But here comes Michael on the button. He's got quite a bit saved up here. So he can use perhaps a little bit of more of a squirt on towards the braking zone. No, it stays off it. Will he think about it? No, thinks better of it. Lester, in fact, is absolutely blitzing his battery, and he's going to lose all of it. As you can see, OKK is going to go down the inside. Leslie gives him the room. And in fact, Michael is going to reset, but now he's got Matt Shepherd all over his gearbox, and they're almost going to go 3 wide here. This isn't dangerous at all. Matt Shepherd, what are you going to do? Try and go make it a second move around Leslie? Oh, OKK's gone deep, and he goes down the escape road. And he's going to have to reverse out of that one because he went all the way down. Matt Lester has just clattered into Matt Shepherd. Half spun him as well. That might be floor damage. Jess is just going to... Harry Collier is just going to sit there and watch these plebs just play with each other and can just follow them around. And Scott comes into the box, and Jess is going to get involved in this one if they're not careful, because at the moment we're halfway through this race. And we've somehow still got 14 cars 14 cars on circuit. I mean, there are a couple of battles, but we've got a little bit of Kia field spread going on as well.
Yes, indeed. And I was just looking at the standings, and Matt Shepherd equal on standings with Mr. Jack Ricketts, and Jack Ricketts right ahead of him right now. That would knock Shep out, so he needs to make those moves. Also hope for a bit of a miracle or a safety car, which is... Ooh, there goes piece of wing from Lesty lost his wing. Luckily, the pit window has now opened and he can just go straight into the box and get that wing repaired. But Shep needs to close in that gap to Jacko and finish ahead of him. Because on countback, it can't end on countback unless they both DNF. But on countback, it would be... I guess it would be Shep who wins this because he's above that. Or no, Jack mentioned that he was above. Anyway, interesting. Liam completes his pit strategy. Lesty completes his pit strategy.
Yeah, Leslie a little bit more force there with no front wing, so that's going to hold him up as well. Jess completes hers, and so does Michael, who's going to come in after making that mistake on the last lap and dropping around about almost 15 seconds he lost in time there. So he comes in, looks as though no one's having to stack, so they've all got away with that. And Leslie out, he had no front wing. Michael out, he had a bit of a bruised ego, but still had his wing attached. Robin Board is going to come out just behind, or just going to around turn 1, just behind these guys. Have nice warm tyres. They've done 3 laps on those softs. The softs around here don't last too long, but enough to on 3 laps to attack these guys as they warm up these mediums. So mediums to the end for Jess, Michael, Matt, and Fozzie as well is so an evil. So P4 for
Fozzie
Liam at the
will
moment.
not make it to the end. He needs to make another stop. He stopped on lap 12.
Okay, so here comes Statos, and there is a yellow flag is for Scott once again, who is gone deep into. They're really struggling with turn 2. Turn 2 is not. Is it that hard? I mean, I can understand down here if you've got DRS, but. Yeah, we've had a lot of cars going deep down into turn 2.
It's, yeah, it's one to get you out quite quick, quite easily, apparently. I guess. I don't know.
We wouldn't, because we're competent drivers, as you'll find in the Cup Series
absolutely.
on a Thursday night.
Talking about competence, didn't you crash here the last time? With 1 to go.
I was suffering with severe body damage after early collision with... I can't remember if it was Wace. I think it was Wace that hit me on going into turn 2.
You know what we say about Wace.
Fuck Wace?
Fuck Wace.
Yes, that is what we say about Wace. So lap 15 of 26, it's Matt Shepherd from Harry Collier, who's having a decent run but still has to stop again. Fozzie's just done the fastest lap of the race. Evil now all over the back of Harry, should go down the inside, doesn't have DRS but does throw it down the inside. Harry kind of just gives him the position. Liam, however, without any battery left, he's blitzed it all with 9 laps left to go, which is a bold move. He's, I imagine, hoping for someone else to crash and get another safety car to save that back up again, because Jacko is not far behind.
The only one who can provide take that safety car pit stop is Waze, but he's in 10th, already behind. What is it? Four guys who stopped. Oh well. Talk about a safety car. There is a potential safety car.
Yes, as Harry Collier's just gone straight into the Tech Pro barrier at the end of straight before you get into the castle section, and he is now wingless and winless, as Harry is, I believe, will get away with. There will be debris there, but I think it's all been. Oh, well, Lesty, that was a bit of lag there. Looked as though he was just about to Charles Leclerc it, but gets away and takes off. Genuinely, I'm surprised that no one's clattered the wall into the castle section. Seemingly, when they well, yeah, that's true. As we've got Robin this time. Who they're doing it before we get to the castle section. They're all going. There's no one got any brake balance on. Seemingly, they're all running just the most ridiculous of brakes. No one's stopping. Right, Matt Shepherd in for his last stop. Rageman now behind Kaya. Kaya is just going to exist on the circuit, but doesn't fight as down the inside goes Robin. Kaya, of course, on his Joker. I mean, a Joker for Kaya is about 4 or 5 stops. Harry Cotter changes his wing. Down the inside goes Michael Okeke on Jess. So Jess falling backwards now, which is not what she needs, because Bazza is now P4, but he does need to stop again. And in fact, he's now under threat from Fozzie, and Fozzie goes through. So Fozzie overtaking Bazza, so that puts Bazza back towards Jess, but of course Jess has stopped and Bazza hasn't. So Jess still in pole position at the moment to make her first ever championship 5. Unless What have we got? Liam is, what was he, -11? He's looking at the mountain. No, he's -20. Oh, he's -20. Liam's got to win.
-20?
Yeah, I've got
it after round 11 on -10.
November 30th. This was the last one. It's now December the 5th. It was Liam -20 under the cut line. What standings are you looking at?
The one Jets posted as the provisionals. It's the only one I could find.
Oh, well, I don't know, unless... Oh, if only they were put in Discord.
I know, right? The up-to-date standings.
Yeah. Or if we have, if we have
Liam
some
would
sort
knock
of...
his girlfriend out.
Yeah, well, yeah. Let's not talk about what happens in the in the home. That's a bit rude. But
Knock out, not knock up.
So right, yellow flag is out for Wace, I believe, or it might be Rico. It's probably Rico. Okay, so down the inside goes OK. Can he get it stopped? Just about. Behind Bazza is now got Jess for company, so Jess can. I think she does. I think she shares a party of Bazza. This is a bit awkward, isn't it? I mean, you always want to make your first C5, but you definitely don't want to be given it. And Bazza, who's kind of looking as though he's just kind of hoping for a safety car to save him at the moment, because a safety car to stop now.
He stopped under the lap 6 safety car though.
True, so we'll need to make a green flag stop. So this is really going to hurt him. He's going to drop down to Kaya sort of area, or between Kaya and Harry. As the only thing that's the threat to Jess at the moment is Matt Lester's connection, because he is pinging all over the place at the moment. So any potential move on Jess could be disastrous, because we've seen what happened last week with Jesus Christ, the connection.
I was just about to say he looks fine, and then he just jumped 2 meters to the left.
Yeah, no, he's been doing this all race. And this is what happened with Vitinho and Scott last week in Las Vegas, when Vitinho, there's into the wall goes Matt Lester. That's not lag, that's just talent, or lack of. Jacko is now within DRS of Evil, and he does the fastest lap, but is he close enough now? It's within half a second. He's managed to save a little bit of battery. It's 40%. Is he just kind of managing the gap now, waiting for the right opportunity? Yellow flags are out for, have a guess,
the Dutch torpedo. I think Jacko is just playing it smart, because he knows Liam needs this win as it stands, and he has enough with second place.
Oh gosh, how do I get out of this one? I can't go backwards and forwards at the same time. Turn, forwards, turn, forwards. Oh, almost there. Hey guys, help me out. My name's Rico. Hey, back underway. And Rico on the hard tyres. He can go until the rest of the time, but it will be a lap down very, very shortly, I'd imagine. Does he get it stopped this time? He does. Well done, Rico.
Should just retire and play Fortnite with Michel.
like any good 13-year-old should.
Oh, watch out! Jacko might be interested in you. Oh no, 13. He's that 14-year-old.
Jacko's not interested in me at all.
No, not in you. Like in the 13-year-olds. But then again, he's interested in.
That is true. Well, yeah, that's true. As he's on the hunt for new talent for Kia. Well, to be fair, any talent for Kia would be nice, but he's on the hunt of P1 as well, and he goes down the inside of Liam. Liam's got nothing here because he's got no battery left. He's going to peel in behind Jacko. Will he actually go for a retake here? Liam's decided to try and burn battery that he hasn't got, which is only going to make you slower. Don't worry, he's going to punch straight into the back of Jacko, and he's also probably just given him rear diffuser or rear wing damage there, purely out of the basis that, and he's going to do it again. Liam, mate, you've got no battery left. Jacko's going to move to the left, and if I was Jacko here, I'd give you a bit of a receipt. Let's see if it happens.
In the wall.
Oh, Jacko, you pussy. I would have given him a receipt. I would run him wide and put him in the wall.
Well, you could easily say that you're not in the playoffs anymore.
Well, I would have done it in during the race anyway.
Even if it would risk your playoff spot.
Yeah, probably. I don't like people driving like an idiot, and that's exactly what Liam was just doing. There was no reason for him to be that close behind Jacko and not commit to a move. So Jacko back behind Liam again, lap 19 of 26, and finally, it's the end of the night for Rico.
Fortnite, here we come, Garrett. I'm gonna love you and leave you.
And we haven't actually got to the end of our movie yet, and you haven't got my reactions on Gran Turismo. Don't worry, I will give them to you by the end of the stream. It's worth sticking around for. But Liam does retire. Liam retires in the pit lane. Rico retires in the pit lane. Where does his car go? It actually goes back to where it belongs, and it's down the escape road at the exit turn two, I think. He's going home. Right, here comes Jacko once again. Back on the button. Liam's going to try and defend. He's going to peel in behind Jacko once again, I imagine, when Jacko clears him. They're still side by side. Jacko's clearly not running as much. Right, let's see. Jacko goes very defensive early on. Liam's going to slow down, and he's almost hit him again because he doesn't learn from his mistakes. As Jacko's desperately weaving out the way to say, if that was me, this would be a please stop it. Like, you can work with me. Stop being a dickhead.
Yeah, because Shep is gaining. He gained like 4 seconds.
It's stupid. I don't know what they're doing. This is, yeah. OKK gets up the inside of Fozzie there. They're side by side as they go in towards turn 2, but Michael now up into P4. So good result here from Michael, who is scoring some good points, but not enough at the moment to outscore Jess to get into the Championship 5. So at the moment, it is still Jess that's getting there as Fozzie actually goes back around the outside of Michael.
Yeah, that's because Michael lifted.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Unless that was a courtesy lift, did he give him a little bit of a prod going into turn 1? Is that why the position's changed?
JACKOCAR, come on.
True.
Get on with it.
Get your elbows out and hug and kiss and make up later. So he is the closest driver on circuit at the moment, apart from Scott, who is approaching the rolling chicane at turn 1, but Scott himself decides to miss turn 1. And in fact, let's watch this battle. This is honestly, this might be the best thing you watch all race. Scott on Kaya, the porno no one ever wanted. He's used all his battery, so Scott isn't going to attack him at the moment. Kaya's on 10 lap offs. Rico has decided that Fortnite is the game for him tonight, and has decided to love us and leave us. He'll be back for the Championship 5 to probably do the same thing in Belgium. How many people are going to crash going up Radion next week? I shudder to think. The fact that we've only lost 3 cars tonight.
Yeah, I hope all the C5 drivers pile up together in that race, and we just have to watch the stream back to see who finishes, who slides the furthest down the road.
Scott is trying his hardest to crash this car. And
how has he lost touch with Kaya?
Because he almost did the same thing as everyone's doing, which is face planting the wall as they go in towards the castle section.
Well, maybe Michael can get it right this time.
There's the position change, and he's gone again.
Oh, Michael.
Don't hit the wall.
Oh, Michael.
Right, and here comes the rolling wrecking ball behind him, Matt Lester, who is now behind Michael. Okay. And so Michael's potentially lost himself a chance of getting in to the podium positions tonight, and Lesty is just pinged down to 13th position, so he is about to lag out.
Sorry.
Yeah. There is going to be all sorts of lag issues here with Lesty down in 13th position, so I imagine that's going to change. Scott does he? No, they've got Rage Man that's had his own issues, so suddenly Rage Man's in between Kaya and Scott. So right, let's watch 3 people try and crash a car instead of just 2. How early we're going to break? Oh, Kaya's as late as he's ever broken in his life, and he's still lost
pretty decent.
I know. He actually went side by side for a corner with a car alongside him, and he didn't crash into him. He's learning. It's like teaching AI, like but very very early stage AI. Like, I'm talking like 32-bit Mega Drive AI.
Matt Shepard, I'm looking at you. I want to see you make things happen.
1.7
Just
seconds.
Six to Jacko, so
5 laps to go, or just under 5 laps left to go. Right, so as I was just looking at time screens and went all quiet there, as Kai is getting all sorts of loose with Scott sitting behind him. Both lifting, going round up the hill. Scott just overtake him, for God's sake. You can't lift there. Kai's going to hit the wall. Right. This is the Battle of the Titans, as Shep is now within DRS of Evil. He just dropped outside of it. Right, use the DRS here. Just go through. Go flat. You're on hard tyres. You can still go flat. Do it right now. A little bit of a squirt of battery here, Scott. Just a squirt. You just need to close up to him. There we go. Right, DRS open. Pick an inside. Kai's going to defend one way. Actually, it's pro. He'll probably go either way. So just go down the inside and force him out. Lovely. There we go. Just drive him out wide. Don't bail out of it. Don't bail out of it. There we go. Lovely attempt. So it was a nice attempt until.
I've just
if
seen
you
it
could
from
see
the stream
me,
because
I'm
I was
face planting the wall right now.
Because I'm watching Shep get rid of Liam, so Liam is now not in the C5 anymore, and it's on between the 4th place guy and the 5th place guy. If Shep can close this gap down, this is going to be really interesting. Provided these standings are correct and not wrong. Big S prefix here.
This would be, I mean, this is a tall ask for Shep to close in 5 seconds on Jacko, but the fact that you've got 2 drivers that are literally level with points with 1 race left to go.
2 races left to go. Look at that, half a second gain nearly. I think Jacko might have some any kind of rear car damage.
You've got to think that after Liam twatted him going into turn 1 that there's definitely going to be some sort of damage.
Never mind.
Oh, and that
it's over.
Is that?
All Jacko needs to do is finish. You know what happens if Jacko finishes? He will finally have a win purely on merit, just like you. Oh no, wait.
I have 2 wins, by the way, and they're both on merit. I'm the fastest driver in team speed.
I mean, that's not lie, but you still don't have a win on merit.
How dare you? I won in Portugal on merit.
Yeah, because Ben murdered Arnoud.
And he took his own. That was not premeditated on my part. I was with Italy. That was premeditated. I demanded it. Portugal was totally on Ben. He was.
Not saying that you. No, I'm not saying anything about that. But you know. Looking at the final 3 laps of the race, we might get a back-to-back double OKK podium.
Yeah, somehow. I don't know how, because he's almost driven halfway to Moscow with the amount of exit routes that he's taken out of this circuit. But Michael now 3 seconds off the back of Dustin, who is 19 seconds off the back. We've got another yellow flag. Who is that for?
Scott.
Oh, Scott again.
No mirror selfish today, Scott. You didn't earn that.
Oh, Kai, you pussy, getting out of the way. She's fine over 10th position. Who cares? Right.
2 minutes later, they finally Scott's gone off again. Oh. Turn 3.
I would say there's severe. He's gonna get disqualified in a second.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to keep moving. You're gonna have to keep moving. There we go. Turn the wheel. And there's no front wing again. Well, there was no front wing. He didn't come in and change it. He's going to try and get to the end. So this is going to start happening semi-regularly now. But nothing else is happening. Trust me. We've got proper Kia spread here. 24 of 26. Jacko is somehow leading this race. Yeah, evil in P2, and he was hyping himself up in the chat after finishing P5 in Collie, like anyone cares. But I mean, to be fair, a podium in Kia is like, what do I equate a podium in Kia to? Like remembering to breathe in and out. Like it's so mundane because you can effectively, it's just like fighting against 14, 15, 16 other people that don't really know what their hands are. But anyway, this is a fantastic league. You should all watch it. Make sure you go watch the Cup Series on Thursday evening with Jack Ricketts in the commentary booth for that one. Final race of the season, and it is in Qatar.
It's not the final race of the season.
Final race of the season called Championship 5. The season and Championship 5 is two separate things. We've got another yellow flag. Who's that for? Someone
Let
else.
me guess.
Is it?
It's not Scott.
No, it's Kai this time. I think Kai is just driving around. So Scott does come in for a new wing. I'm just desperately hoping that something happens. KK now 1.7 seconds behind Dustin, so he is actually catching him, but he's looking as though he might need maybe one more lap, unless he can get within DRS before the end of the lap. So he needs to take 6/10 out of Dustin. How aggressive are you feeling, Michael? How much does a podium mean to you here in Kia Series? I've just told you what a podium means in the grand scheme of things, but how much does it mean to you? Waves with the fastest lap of the race of 43.809. He'll take home an extra playoff point. Who cares? He's already through to the Championship 5, where he will go up against the likes of Danny Quinn. Most likely, we will also see into it Matt Lester, even though he's desperately tried to not get there. And Jacko is looking as though he will be the last of the drivers in the playoffs to go through. Jess is looking as though, as we've got another driver off, let's have a guess who it is. Oh, it's Wace this time, who is reversing back down the road.
Wace needs this position if he wants to tie with Quinn on points.
He needs to learn how to flat spin, because that's not how you do it.
Is he gonna lose out to Kaya? Michael!
Oh, God, Jesus Christ. Right, so...
Someone tell Michael that he only has to need to finish 4th to get this podium.
Right, so last lap of the race, Jacko's going to win it unless something drastically goes wrong. Jacko, please just drive around in second gear for the rest of the lap. Like, there's nothing happening behind you. There's nothing happening in front of you. It would be oh so JACKOCAR for you to throw it in the wall now. It would be very funny though. Let's see how early does he brake for this. Oh, look how cautious he's being.
Liam is catching like mad. Not that it matters, because he's got it, but...
Right, so Jack Ricketts is making his way to the Championship 5, which will be from Spa next week. It's already upon us. And we're finally going to bring this season to an end. This terrible, terrible season here in Kia. One more week to go after this, but it will be Jack Ricketts who takes his second win here in Kia. And this one, he's bloody deserved it. He's the winner here. Liam comes home in P2. I'm sure he'll be very happy with that. I'm sure that means something to someone. Fozzie is going to come home in P3. It looks as though KK was trying to close in on him, but a mistake on the penultimate lap means that Fozzie's actually under threat from being jumped down the back straight by Lester, who's actually out of battery. He's on the button, but he's not going to have enough to defend against Michael, who was using up the rest of his. So it's Fozzie in P3. KK is going to finish P4. Lesty P5. Jess makes her debut into a Championship 5 by going and winning the chase. Congratulations to Jess. She wins the chase. Bazza finishes behind her. He needed to beat her by a couple of points, but he doesn't even beat her on circuit. A strange strategy from Bazza tonight. A couple of incidents early in the race cost him potential points. Rageman is the last one on the lead lap because Wace had an absolute shocker tonight. Where's that been all season? Down in P9, Kaya got to the end, which I imagine he'll count as a victory. Scott is still on circuit. Could be a lap down, could be 12 laps down, no one knows. He's coming up to the line very, very shortly. The man that's gone through, let's double check actually. 6 stops for Rageman tonight is not as high as Rico, who equals the Kia record, I believe, with 8 pit stops. I think that's a JACKOCAR record as well. I think Pete made 8 stops. We'll have to double check with Jacko. So Rico might actually be tying a JACKOCAR record. Maybe not the one you want, but Scott does come across the line and somehow takes home some championship points. Bazza gets driver of the day. Who cares about that? Doesn't mean anything. And it only goes on really weird ways of doing it. Is the most overtakes. But if you've got idiots in front of you, you should be overtaking them. But it is the Brit from Bournemouth that takes home a victory. He's not got brown hair. It doesn't look like Jacko at all. He looks way more like a normal functioning human being in there than he does in real life. But Jacko is your winner. Liam in P2 and Dustin in P3, clearly going through a transition period over on his side there. But there you go, 51 minutes of Baku done, and we only lost 3 cars. 4 cars at the end of that one, I think. With Matt Shepard's late... it was 5. Sorry, with Matt Shepard's late crash. So, Jacko takes the win. Liam in P2. Dustin P3. Then you've got Michael, Matt. Jess wins the chase. Goes through to her first ever Championship 5. Bazza, Rageman, Wace. Kaya comes home in 10th position. Scott P11. And then your retirements of Matt Shepard, Harry, Rico, Quinn and Paul McGuinness, who desperately tried to not race this at all, crashing out in quali and very much early on in the race as well. Yuri, before we sum up the race, which we'll do, and we'll give a quick build up to the Championship 5. Gran Turismo, what's the Hasselager out of 10, or is it out of 10? Yes, go out of 10. What's the vote for out of 10?
It's your typical racing movie. So if you just want to sit back and watch a film and don't care too much, it's nice. If you look at the details and notice that Le Mans is actually the Hungaroring with some cheeky edit on the final corner to make it look like the 4 chicanes are there, but they're not running it. They're just running the final second 2 corners in Hungary. They're racing the track the opposite direction. They're racing it the wrong way around. There's Le Mans stripes in the chicane. Everything is just weird about it. And if you're a racing fan, those things will grind your gears. So overall, I would give it a my middle brother who no one cares about out of Hasselager.
Okay, sounds good. Well, it doesn't sound good. Gran Turismo is shit. The game,
that's false,
and the movie.
So false.
The only thing that's come out of Gran Turismo that is in any way good is that the soundtrack for 1, 2, 3 and 4 was very good. However, they should have stopped making it at Gran Turismo 4. Everything since then has been absolute hot garbage.
Wow, I so disagree with you.
But luckily, I am the arbiter of all knowledge and truth, so you can listen.
I don't even care. I'm just going to talk straight through you. The only thing that you're right about, and I will give you credit to this, is that the racing car list, like the GT3 cars, the GT4 cars, is so outdated. Like the last Ferrari is 2 generations back. That's all. I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah, well, don't worry, you wouldn't be able to tell because they feel like you're driving around a houseboat and make weird screeching tyre noises. And there's no discernible damage whatsoever because they've never been able to get the rights to actually make it look like when you punt into a car, they seemingly disappear up the road like a pinball.
There's no denying that is also a bad thing.
Yes. So if you'd like to play a good game, please go and play either Assetto Corsa or Assetto Corsa Competizione, where they actually make competent racing games with GT cars. If you'd like to play an arcade game, that you will find miserable, but you might actually get to listen to some nice songs, and you can effectively use it as a glorified graphical template game. Go and sit on Gran Turismo and take some cool pictures and put them up. I'm sure everyone will love them.
So you like my pictures?
Oh yeah, I'm delighted. You know, I'm happy you're having fun.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to hear.
Right, so Jacko is into the Championship 5. He beats out Matt Shepherd, who looks as though he could have won that race until he did a Matt Shepherd and threw it in the wall with 3 laps left to go. Jess is your chase winner, so she goes into her first C5 and joining Wace, Quinn, and Matt Lester. Quick thoughts before next week, when I might actually do some notes. I've got next week off work, so I've got no excuses not to do some notes for next week. What do we think with the Championship 5 in Spa next week?
I think the track is definitely very interesting. Jacko has always been strong here. He was trailing me last season for the entire race. The gap was never bigger than 3 seconds, I believe. So I'm expecting great things from him. Quinn, if he can keep his head in it, he is gonna walk away with it. He should walk away with it. Way showed how much of an inconsistency he is, so we're not sure about him. Then the last one, who is the 4th playoff driver? Do you know that?
So it'll be Lesty, Jacko, Quinn, Wace, and Jess.
Correct. And Lesty has been okay this season, but I'm not entirely sure whether he has that championship winning potential. Jess has been pretty decent, so don't count her out. If she gets the strategy and the luck her way, she might actually win this. So I'm looking forward to it, especially if people can survive Radion with the wings that you need to run.
And then we can enjoy a strong whiskey after this season is done, and
I will join you on that.
And look forward to a long Christmas break.
Oh, and look forward to exactly the same calendar next season.
Yes. Do you know what? I'm fascinated for when we get to release the next calendar, because
it's boring. It's the same as this season.
It is. Oh, it's so awful. God, yeah. What are we gonna do?
We just looked at all the tracks that have been ran the most and decided to give you guys all a fair chance and just run these again, because you've already ran those a lot of times.
Yep. There's nothing coming. You've got nothing to be excited for. It's going to be exactly the same. So don't get your hopes up. But stay tuned. That will be announced in due course. Championship 5 next week. So do join us on Tuesday night, where I promise I'll perhaps pick up the pace a little bit and get some notes and get some, I would say, professionalism. But who cares? It's only Kia. That's what you all come here for. If you'd like to tune in to some good racing, join us on Thursday, where we will be heading to Qatar, where, as I said to Jacko earlier, a couple of weeks ago, you can watch me walking around effectively looking quadriplegic. I seemingly cannot drive around Losail at all. It's a track for bikes and not for cars. But you will
we might
see...
actually have a battle.
I can't. I hate that track so much. Do join us for that. It will be the last race before the Championship 5. Of course, the build-up happens next week as well. So Ben Shaw has got a busy week in store editing. In fact, I've got to upload some videos for him tonight that we've got coming up for that. But do join us next Tuesday and, of course, next Thursday for the JACKOCAR Championship 5s in the Kia and the Cup Series, but from myself, Garfield, and from Yuri Haselager. Thank you for joining us. Sorry you had to sit through that, but we will be back for one last time next week.
Yeah, see you, losers.
Yeah, screw them. Screw you all.
You just suck at Gran Turismo. That's why you don't like it.